Hi everyone, it's Tom Buck from the Calder Group here. This is video 3 of a series we started a few weeks ago. Taking a bit of time to get back to completing the final 2 videos for you in terms of retirement planning, how to go about it, the process. We've gone through the fun parts, the sitting back with your significant other or just on your own, whichever you prefer, to work out what retirement actually means, when you want to do it, where you want to be, what you want to do. Do you want to pack in one go? Do you want to do it over a period of time? And starting to think about the assets you're going to use, not getting hung up on pensions. It must be a pension this, it must be a pension that. Looking at everything from the sale of a business to holiday homes to buy-to-lets to any other assets you may have that can form part of your income generation when you come to retire. So you now know what you want to do, where you want to be, who you're going to do it with, and what life is going to be like, and certainly in those early years of retirement where we have the longest holiday we ever have in our lives. You've even come down to, right, okay, I'm going to have the business, I'm going to have this, I'm going to have that. Now comes the interesting point. Where are you? Where physically are you when it comes to that planning? So, have you got your state pension benefit forecast? Very easy to do, takes 10-15 minutes. We'll put a link around the video somewhere so you can go to the government website. You just need national insurance number, some form of ID, and within 10 to 15 minutes, you know where you are in terms of what you're going to get per week as a state pension. And if you're short of the years, you know how far short you are. So that's a good starting point, and particularly for a couple, that can give you a nice £18,000–19,000 income depending on the benefits you're going to get. So good start. So then it's a case of saying what happens next. So if you've got your pension plans, have you worked out what they're going to produce? And I know from conversations I have with clients, the statements aren't the easiest in the world to understand. So if you need them converting into what my clients call English, more than happy to do that for you. But if you've got a pension fund of, I don't know, £100,000, what does that actually mean when you come to take the benefits? How are you going to take the benefits? Talk about that in the next video in more detail. But it's a case of then checking to see what you've actually got. Particularly at older plans, you may have some fantastic guaranteed annuity rates. And an annuity is simply you paying the money to a pension company and they give you an income for life. Now, that may or may not include spousal benefits. It may mean you have to retire at a certain date. It means you may have to take the income in a certain way. But that information is key. Without knowing that, you really don't know exactly what that pension fund is really worth. Because if you've got a very good annuity guaranteed from 65, that could actually make your £100,000 pot worth up to £300,000 to you. So what guarantees are there? If you need someone to find out, again, contact details are somewhere around the video. I don't know exactly where. I don't get involved in that bit. Apparently I'm too old. But yeah, if you want to know more, see if you've got any guarantees, we'll be more than happy to help and see what we can do to help you to track those down. Also, when it comes to your business, now, we're all very precious about the businesses we've created. For all of us who've created something from scratch, it's the love of our lives after our partner. We've seen it develop. We've got the employees. We've built it up. We've hopefully made profits. It's given us our lifestyle. But do not get carried away with the value of that business. Remember, it's a bit like a house. You may decide your house is worth £500,000. A buyer will want a bargain, and they may look and go, well, actually, kitchen's outdated, bathroom needs replacing, all the carpets are worn. It's not the greatest area. You've got quite a busy road of traffic. We're just on the edge of the... There's a whole host of reasons when you sell your house that someone will come along and say, you may think it's worth £500,000. I'm only going to give you £450,000. And you've got to accept that. Give you a real life situation. A friend of mine was buying a business. The owner wanted about £300,000 for this business. After due diligence and work through, My friend actually worked out the business was only worth about 35 to 40,000 pounds tops, because there was no repeat business. There was no ongoing income stream. The assets weren't owned by the business. And actually, what it was worth was not what the owner thought it was worth. The owner went away. I'm not selling for that. Walked away. 6 months later, came back and said, if the deal's still on the table, everyone else has agreed, I'll sell for 40. So a huge, huge hole in what he thought the business was worth. Have a word with the accountant. Get an idea of what the goodwill is worth. What do you actually have? Is it just a list of clients? Not worth an awful lot. You may be the person who can open the door to those clients. It's worth more. You may have repeat income. You may have clients you've looked after for 30 years who are signed in on a long-term contract. Worth more again. You may own the assets and want to sell the business property, sell the assets within it, vans, trucks, cars, whatever it may be, but be realistic about that valuation. There's nothing worse than believing you've got a £500,000 business, but to someone else it's only worth £100,000, and that hole could be enough to sink your retirement plans. Also, are you actually going to just keep the business? That is very much an option. Do you have a management team who can step in and just carry on as though you're not there, where you are not actually the business? If you're self-employed, you've got a slightly different issue, because predominantly you will be the business. But there's nothing to stop you building something then and going, we'll create something that has a value. We can sell as an ongoing concern. I can draw an income from. A lot of our businesses have their children joining the business and allowing mum and dad to slowly ease their way out. How is that going to happen? Can you continue to draw from that business sufficient income to maintain your lifestyle or be part of your lifestyle, and not put too much pressure on that business that it goes under or really starts to hemorrhage money because it's trying to support too many people and it just can't do it? About your investments. Okay, how much have you actually got? Where's it going to go to? Whose name is it in? Is it in the most tax efficient area? These are the things you can start to look at and go, right, actually, between all of these, I believe I've got a fund of £400,000. Or I've got a fund of 150, but my state pension's coming in at £9,000. So actually, how much do I then get? That's the key next question. Once you've got true valuations, you know the assets you're going to use, and you can start to look and go, and this is how I want to use them, we can move on to the final. And for me personally, as a financial advisor, and I know everyone when they see the video will go, that's sad. But for me, it is the most exciting part. So before we end today, you know when you're going to retire and what retirement looks like. You know the income or the expenditure that you want to have during that time period. You know the assets that you're going to use, and from today we've actually put figures on those assets as they are worth now. The next job is to take it forward and start to really picture that wonderful retirement. And the bad bit, working out exactly where you are and how far you have to travel to get from point A of today to point B, your dream retirement.